Okay, so I'm gonna have to start over officially. So, good evening, everyone. This is the meeting of the Youth and Education Committee. Um, it is now 7:50. Call the meeting to order. Um, my name is Gil Grandison, and I am the chair of the Youth and Education Committee. I'm going to do roll call because I want to get to know. We have some new members. We'd like to get to know them. I'm sorry, Mr. Trent and Miss Mickles, that I'm going to make you repeat what you said before, but you can shorten it because we did hear it. Um, and we have a couple of people that also joined us. So, Miss Mickle, could you repeat, introducing yourself, please? Are you there, Miss Mickle?
Here, I'm here.
Okay, so just, you can do just a short introduction of yourself again. I'm so sorry.
Okay. Well, I'm Yulene Mickle. I've been a member of the committee for about 3, 4 years. As I said before, I'm looking forward to seeing how much we can do as a group to bring some changes in the educational aspects of the community. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Mr. Trent, I'm sorry if I make you repeat this, and I just apologize if you can hear the kids crying in the background. They're very far, but yet very loud. Um,
Yes.
Mr. Trent?
Yes, I'm here. Oh yes.
Yes.
Yes. I'm a teacher at Medgar Evers College Preparatory School, and also I'm in a leadership program at the College of St. Rose, and part of that leadership program, anything that deals with education, they want us to go and investigate and take part in, and I've been a PTA president in the past, and so I'm very passionate about education, and so anywhere where I can go to learn information about how to support families or support different districts or learn more information about what's happening in Brooklyn in terms of education. That is something that I would always love to do. So that is why I connected to this. And I was invited by one of my colleagues to come here to interview this.
Okay, thank you so much. Miss Graham, can you introduce yourself?
Yes, good evening, everyone. I'm Rose Graham. Um, yeah, Rose Graham. I am a member of the Youth and Education Committee. I'm a 28 years working for the Department of Education, 20 years as an assistant principal. I am vested, so education is really a part of what I do every day, and I honored to serve on this committee, and I look forward to us, as I think Miss Mickle said, moving the agenda and reimagining the landscape of education in our community. Thank you.
Thank you, Miss Graham. And you are a committee member.
Yes, ma'am.
Miss Saunders?
Good night, everyone. I'm sorry I'm a bit late, but I had trouble getting on. It looks as I couldn't hear you before.
Okay, that's okay. We actually just started a few minutes ago.
Oh, great, great. Thank you. So I've been on several times. I'm not a member yet, but I'm a retired special ed teacher of New York City Public Schools. And I just want to contribute and any way I can to the committee.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Mr. Tate?
Okay, good evening, everyone. My name is George Tate. Actually, like most people are in education. I was not a teacher, but my whole family is in education. My wife retired as an assistant principal. My daughter is a current principal in public school. And my youngest daughter is a head of department at Trinity in the private school. but I am passionate with the kids. I've been on this committee almost 40 years. And I used to run a youth council at the precinct a while back. But again, whatever I could do for the youth, I was more than happy to. So that's why I'm part of it. Yes, I'm also a committee member. I'm also a board member.
I'm sorry, I lost you guys for a moment. D Smart.
Hello, everyone. How are you? Can you hear me?
Yes, we could hear you.
Okay, great. I'm Dwayne Smart. I'm a special educator. Have been in special education for the last 21 years in 3 states: Michigan, Maryland, Alabama, and now New York. I'm a transplant to the New York City DOE. I am currently working in high school in Department of Education, and I think you heard from one of my colleagues earlier today. Um, and I attend also the College of St. Rose site program. Um, and I am not a committee member yet. I'm gonna say yet because I'm really enjoying the efforts of this district and how active all of these committees and programs are trying to make sure that the education comes to our children, and it is sure, and it is strong, and it is powerful. And I'd love to be a part of those efforts. I actually was in another meeting that conflicted with your meeting today. Yeah, CC17 is also having a meeting, and I tried to partake in both of them. So,
Okay.
thank you for welcoming me to this meeting, and I hope that I can contribute in some way.
Well, thank you. And from what I'm hearing, I'm sure that you can contribute. Next is, I don't want to butcher this name, Heslat Turpstrom. Am I saying it correctly, please?
Yep, pretty good. My name is Heslat Tursun. The correct pronunciation is, but the spelling is, I know it is as confusing as it is to me, to everyone. So
It's okay.
my name is Heslat. I am a new community board member in CB17, and I don't think I am officially a committee member on youth and education yet, but we have I have submitted my application. I am yet to hear back from the committee, and I am a parent, and I live within the district. I am a parent, and I would very much love to learn about the resources that we have in the community and how we can contribute in our own way. And very nice to meet everyone virtually. I'm looking forward to working with you all.
Okay, great. I will check in. I think we do have you as a committee member down, so that is great. But I'm going to confirm. I know that Ms. Lyons has sent me a list. I just wanted to confirm with her that that everyone was actually in. Okay, moving on, Miss McCain Brown.
Good evening, everyone. Monica McCain Brown, committee member, retired assistant principal, also been a guidance counselor and teacher with the Department of almost 30 years of working with retired from education and working with
Miss McCain Brown, you're breaking up. I'm not sure if other people are hearing it, but I am getting snatches of your conversation.
Okay. Are you hearing me now?
Yes.
Okay, Monica McCain Brown, retired assistant principal from the Department of Education after almost 30 years. Have been a guidance counselor, teacher as well. Still working in education as a consultant, working with teaching fellows. Again, passionate about education, passionate about the youth, and hope that as a committee member, I can be of some service assistance as we forward.
Okay, thank you, Ms. McCain Brown. Kamara Swaby.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi, my name is Kamara Swaby. I'm a new member of the Community Board 17, and I'm a new committee member to the Youth and Education Committee. I am a child who was born and raised in East Copland in the CB 17. I attended Andres Huddy IS 240 when I was growing up, and I was born and raised in Brooklyn all my life. And part of the reason why I want to contribute to the Youth and Education Committee is to give back as I was given as a child to the future generations of those living in our community. And I'm looking forward to working and meeting with you all.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Welcome. We did Miss Graham. Miss Duncan.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Mrs. Duncan. This is my first year as a committee member. I am a special education teacher for the Department of Education. And just like some of you have said, I am from the community. I've lived in Brooklyn, East Flatbush all my life, going to PS 135, Winthrop High School. And I'm just here to give back and see what we could do to improve CB 17.
Thank you, Miss Duncan. Samantha Lawrence. Miss Lawrence.
I'm here. I was unmuting 1 second. I wanted to start my video. I don't know if it's working. If you can see me. Good evening, everyone. Again, my name is Samantha Lawrence. I grew up in East Flatbush. I am now a licensed social worker. I'm going for my LCSW. I am also a part-time therapist. I work with children and families and individuals. I am also a program director dealing with low-income individuals and families and catering mostly to children and new mothers. So I became a member. I know I'm a member because I submitted my form and I just started getting these emails or these groups that I signed up for because I tried to be a community board member, but my application didn't go through at the time. So Ms. Barton basically said I should sign up for a few groups. I like to give back to my community. I pulled several times through my process of becoming a social worker and did some interviews with people within the community board like 12 years ago. And I did call about certain complaints in the neighborhood and especially a lot of pop-ups of liquor stores near some daycare centers. And now we have like these, before the dispensaries, like these weed smoke shops popping up all over the place. And Ms. Byron was like, why don't you join? So that's how I came about. I really do want to see a change to my community. You know, I really want some more activities other than the Boys and Girls Club for them to do instead of like hanging out. And it's really concerning being that I grew up in my neighborhood and I'm seeing the change. So I really would like to give back any way possible that I can. And it's nice meeting everybody.
Thank you. And we want you to get back. And it's good to have a social worker on here. I may be calling on you for some things, but I certainly wouldn't try to burden you with a lot.
No problem.
Okay.
No problem.
Timothy.
Yes, good evening. My name is Timothy. I've been a committee member for a few months now, and I joined just to get more involved with the local community.
Thank you. Mr. Lewis, Osney Lewis.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Osney Lewis. I am a committee member, board member, as well as the treasurer for CB17. I'm also a licensed master electrician, small business owner, and I've also been very adamant about CTE, which is Korean Technical Education, to the point that I was instrumental in implementing 2-star programs for electrical training in Boys and Girls High School as well as Erasmus High School. So one of my biggest things is that there are different paths to a career, and CTE, Career and Technical Education, I believe, is one of the least expensive paths, right? We tend to gravitate towards pushing for the college degrees and everything else, but the college degree is just a piece of paper. If you don't have work experience, you don't get hired. So I've seen several young people, including myself, have gotten into the trades. And if you are not looking at hardcore trades, there are what I consider soft skill trades, where we're talking about programming and coding. And there are kids that are from high school that are going into Google making $90,000 a year, where the college degree is barely making 30 or 40,000. Okay, so there are all different paths to a career. We need to put our children on the path that leads them with the least amount of debt. Because if you have debt, you are a liability to your employer. Your employer looks at you as a liability. So these are the things that I want to educate our people on, and get away from the stigma of being a tradesman. Plenty tradesman with the dirt and everything. That dirt is money. I always tell people that. The dirt that you see, you sit down next to a man in the train, on the bus, and you scorn him. But that dirt you see there is money. So this is what I want us to be educated on, and see this as a different path. Because two, the trades also paid for me with my college degree. It paid for my wife's bachelor's degree. It will pay for me if I want to do a master or PhD, because I'm a part of a union in the trade. So these are the things that I'm trying to educate and push out there and make our community aware of. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Lewis. Did everyone go? Miss Lyons, could you please introduce yourself to the members?
Nadine Lyons, Community Assistant.
Thank you. Miss Lyons is the person that my go-to person that handles this is youth and education is her committee. So if you have any questions or want to know anything about the committee or anything that's happening at the board, you can reach out to Miss Lyons. You can email her, or you can give her a call. As we move on, I just want to, before I get into that report and the approval of minutes, I just want you guys to know that I run this meeting with a set of norms, and I do the norms for the fact that I want us all to be in a space where we feel safe to speak. There's inclusivity. People, you know, just are willing to share.
Security clearances for employers expedite that process when they come to find you. It's reasonable. It's not think about other than is entitled to substitute
Miss Grandison, you're breaking out. We can hear what you're saying.
She's 224 total criminal cases assigned to her. New York Times cases identified. Just 4 of them on the trial. Each was a relatively routine matter at all.
I am so sorry. My entire just crashed. Okay. As I was saying, you know, we want to make this meeting space where everyone has a voice. You know, you can give your opinions, you can feel free to speak on issues, and that, you know, you're not being judged in any way, form, or fashion. So my norms are usually step up and step back. It means you can step up to speak, but we also ask you to step back so other people can also share their voice. No one knows it all, but together we know a lot. I think from what I've heard, I am dealing with a committee of knowledgeable people in different fields and areas, and that knowledge is welcome on this platform. And I want to encourage you to share out that knowledge whenever possible so that we can all learn from it. Show up and participate in your effort to be your best self. So, you know, as I said, this is a non-judgmental space. You can show up, you can help educate us in different ways. As much as we are all adults, there's always learning happening every minute, every day. Story stays, lessons leave. I think that one's quite simple. The lessons that we learn here, we can, you know, transform them into other spaces and into our lives. Sometimes they are very valuable lessons. And I ask that everyone respects the opinions of everyone. Even if you don't agree with something someone says, you are allowed to, you know, respectfully disagree, because that's how we work on this in this space. But I ask that all disagreements please be done in a respectful manner, and never to where it becomes insulting or degrading to anyone. Okay, with saying that, approval of the minutes. So last month we didn't have a meeting. I'm going to speak around as to why in my chairperson's report. So there are no minutes to approve.
Judge's obligation here is to make this law.
So a number of things has happened in the past month. We didn't have a meeting last month because we had an event called Cops and Kids, which was at the Boys and Girls Club located on Bedford Avenue, if you guys are aware of where that is. I want to do some thank yous. You know, all of the members are not here that somehow or somewhere facilitated getting the event together. So we had the cops were from the 6-7 precinct, and what we had was, I'm sorry, sweetie, yeah, go to mom. We had about 8 of the cops where they were sitting, having a conversation, doing role playing with the young people. The young people that we had were from the Boys and Girls Club. And I wish you guys were there. It was really great. It was really great. The conversations, the role playing, you know, we had a guest speaker, defense attorney, Mr. Mark Pollard. And the theme around what we were trying to get out to the kids was that a sense of camaraderie in where, you know, young people understand the job that police officers are sworn to do, but also on the other hand, that police officers do understand that, you know, there has to be a level of respect and understanding when dealing with people in our community. So the role playing and the questions and stuff went really well. I want to thank Miss Joan Backerdine. I don't see her on the call, but Miss Backerdine facilitated the role-playing session. Miss Patricia Retta, who was the previous chair of the youth committee, and she helped facilitated getting the inspector to get, you know, for us to have the cops there. It was, I think they call it rollout or all out or something like that. So I really appreciate her being able to facilitate that conversation with the inspector and for us getting the cops out. I thank the police department also, Inspector Saliba and his officers. And we also had a couple of youth explorers who were there on hand to also work with the young people. Our board committee members, Miss Graham and Miss McCain Brown, I thank you for coming out. And also our chair, who I don't see on here as yet, was there. Our guest speaker, Mort Pollard. Did I miss anyone, Miss Graham? We had a representative from one of the elected officials. Was it? Miss Graham, do you remember whose office it was?
Whose office did what, Ms. Grandison?
The elected official who sent her representative. Was it Miss Prasad?
Who?
Do you remember
Senator
there was a?
Prasad.
Yes, Senator Prasad.
Prasad.
Yes, I was right. Yes. You know, so I really appreciated her sending a representative and also saying a few words. So that was our Cops and Kids event. It's an event that we will have each year as the committee is in session. So I thank everyone who was there, who did something, Miss Lyons or the committee assistant. I thank you also for being there and, you know, helping to manage and facilitate all the logistics and stuff that was happening, and especially the Boys and Girls Club couldn't do it without Mr. King and his staff also. I'm sorry, is someone? Okay.
Yeah, Miss Mickle needs to mute her mic.
Okay. Ms. Lyons, could you help with that?
You a little one? Junior wants.
Thank you.
Julian.
Miss Lyons, could you mute Miss Mickles, please? Okay, thank you. I'm sure that all the board members, you might have gotten this, and I want to send the invite out. Congresswoman Yvette Clarke has a meet and greet listening session on Wednesday, June 28th. It's at 6 p.m. and it's going to be at the Maya Levin School for the Performing Arts, 5909 Beverly Road. It says here the proposed event will primarily be a listening session with leaders from the community-based organizations, the business community, NGOs, faith-based organizations, and other key community stakeholders. I think, or actually, Community Board 17 is I think sponsoring this session. So if you're available on the 28th, you can please, there's a link to RSVP. I will be sure to send this out to the committee so that if you're interested, that you can register for it. Once again, it's on Wednesday, June 28th from 6 to 8 p.m. So one of the other things I want to talk about, and I want Mr. Tate also to interject here because he was at this meeting. Actually, he ran the committee, the transportation committee meeting last night. So there is a proposal on the table to bring bike sharing into the community. Members of DOT, Department of Transportation, last night. This is either the second or third time. There were at one of the general meeting where they give us the broad proposal of what was happening, and there was some pushback. It was pushback in the community around it because with the bike shares, it means that the agency is going to take away some parking spots. Now, if you look around in our community, you can see it has a change in facade around it, right? We've had a lot of upzoning and where we had a lot of developments in the community, and also with, building these high level, rental units. It also comes with people now bringing in, driving. So the big issue that we have is that you're taking away valuable parking spaces in some areas. The whole thing about this is that the board was not asked to have a say on this, right? So it's like they skipped us, just disrespectfully did not include members of the community in a town hall or anything to even ask for recommendations as where these bikes should be stationed or in terms of the parking spot. So they came back last night, and Mr. Tate, please step in here if I got this wrong. I think there's about 18, is it 18 new spots? And you know what? I'm going to turn this over to you.
Okay,
So you can just give us a synopsis of it, because I was in an multitasking last night, and I want the committee to hear about this.
okay, yes, there were at least, no, it's over 30 spots. I don't remember exactly how many it was, because quite frankly, I didn't have all the notes from because I was asked to chair the meeting at the last minute. But yes, before I go into the bike sharing, we have to keep in mind that there's also what they have, those, they already had taking up some spots for this share ride program, right? That's about 20 something spots. But now they're coming up with these bike sharing that what it's going to take is going to take up either going to take up parking spots or it's going to take up sidewalk areas. Because in certain places, they're planning to put it on sidewalks. They did not compare with the community at all regarding this. They just brought a plan and showing us, they showed a map. They didn't even show a list. So it was very difficult to see from the maps exactly the exact locations. But one of the locations that I'm very curious about is right up here in New York and Snyder near, I think it's 181. What's in it's near school? If they're going to put bicycle racks on the sidewalk, from what I recall, that sidewalk is not wide enough. I asked them, did they consider the traffic from the children, how it's going to affect the children and the parents coming to pick up the children. Okay, that's one of the spots. But there's other spots all around the area, around CV17 that we're discussing, that obviously they did not confer with the community who know the area. So they're supposed to come back and send us a list of the places and where they are planning to do this, and also make an appointment to have a walkthrough so we could have our input as to where we think is the proper place for these bike, if any, for these bike racks. Any question or?
Any questions? Yes, Mr. Lewis. I see
I see
Mr. Lewis and Miss.
I see Miss Suave and Mr. Lewis.
I'm not sure who had their hand up first, so if you guys, between the two of you, if you know whose hand was raised first, please go ahead.
Let Ms. Swaby go. She raised her hand first.
Miss Swaby?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Before I was a community board member.
I'm sorry, Miss Swaby, give me 1 second. Can we please mute ourselves so that we give the respect for those who are speaking and the others can hear clearly? Thank you. Go ahead, Miss Swaby.
Hello. So this was before I was a community board member. I did attend the transportation meeting where they kind of discussed this. So in fairness,
Miss Suave, I cannot hear what you're saying. You're breaking out.
can you hear me now?
Could everyone else mute themselves? Because I'm having problem hearing what Miss Suave is saying.
They did share a map of where people can get if they're thinking of. But in my opinion, and I did share this in the transportation meeting, it was not enough.
Miss Lyons, can you please mute?
Oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't even know I was unmuted.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Miss Swaby, I heard you said you were in the meeting last night.
I was in the meeting last night and also months prior. I was in a transportation meeting before I became a community board member when I was joining my business. From that transportation meeting, they did share a digital map where they asked people in the community, hey, these are our proposed sites. Or these are places in the neighborhood. What are places where you don't think or you do think a bike would be? And I did make some marks on the map. However, in my opinion, I don't think it was enough in order to fully engage the community in terms of making sure where the spots were.
Okay.
So like, and I didn't mention this in the transportation meeting yesterday. It was like, if you're not as computer savvy, you wouldn't be able to do it as well. Their outreach wasn't for the demographics of the community. And there should be some like paper or more outreach, like through CV17. Not just through CV17. They did mention they did do some community orgs, but I don't think it was. In fact, I knew about it not just because of the transportation meeting, but because of some people I follow on Instagram were mentioning it too. But again, like if depending on which areas and what, like if you're older, if you don't have Instagram, you might not see. So again, though they did something, it wasn't there.
Right. Okay. Thank you. I think what we're going to do, I'm going to make sure that the next meeting that comes around, whether it's a committee meeting or if it's just a board presentation, that I do send it out so that members of this committee that you're able to go and even board member, you live in the community, you're able to hear what is happening and, voice your opinion. The board meeting is usually board members must be present at the board meetings, but if you're not a board member, you can join the meeting virtually. Okay. Mr. Lewis?
So from what I gathered, and there was a lot of backpedaling or deflecting from the folks from DOT, from the right share and everything else, because they said that they spoke to the Brooklyn Commissioner office, right? They said they also spoke to Canberra and this and that, and they just were making, they seem to have a lot of excuses, because again, if that was the case, then none of those organizations who they spoke to came back with anything to say to us as CB17. So, I think what has to be addressed, maybe through transportation, maybe through the district manager and everybody else, is getting to the building commissioner's office and find out who came and who would have come to disseminate that information from the ride share, from the other one, from everybody else who is a stakeholder in that thing, because they said it was a mayoral ordinance from since the days of Bloomberg in 2012. And they say every mayor after accepted or did not say that they would not go ahead with that ordinance. So it's almost like, they were just given a pass to do anything. So, we just have to keep them on their toes. I think now they're recognizing what we are saying. Now, it's not to say that it will ultimately stop it, but we could make our voices heard enough, because even there was a representative from Farah Lewis, Daniel, and he was saying the same thing. They reach out, they send out stuff, nobody addressed them either directly, from the ride share, from DOT, nobody. So, I think now they recognize that they have to address it, and I believe in the future there's supposed to be community outreach, either through the general meeting or through the transportation committee, to address it. But we just got to keep it in the pavement. That's all. Keep forcing them to have to deal with us.
Yes. Thank you, Mr. Lewis. And as Mr. Tate said, one of the members, it's the school on New York and Snyder. That's one of the areas where they are thinking, and there's some concerns around that, the impact of kids coming out, the buses, parents get in and out. So I'm gonna try to keep you guys updated on this. One of the other transportation issues that we have is that there's going to be some bus route changes also in the community, and it's going to affect a couple of our schools. I think it's the B6, which usually stops on Glenwood. They're thinking of moving it down to Avenue H. And we have a school which is on Fargate across from the board office, and then there's another school on East 45th. So we're also, voicing our concern as to not change the bus routes, because it will have some interference with the kids having to walk further to get to the school building. So I will keep you abreast of what is also happening with that. I think that is my report. I'm sorry, the chair is trying to get in, and He cannot.
I'm here. I'm here.
Oh, you're there. Oh, there you are. Okay. I'm gonna take 2 seconds for you and Trisha too, because I see, yes, to introduce yourself since we have Mr. Wood to introduce yourself. I'm sorry, I feel like I missed you before. Before we start to move on, it's 8:36. Mr. Chair.
Just saying hello, everyone, and thank you again. And I like to come on and say thank you. I love to see the numbers if people come.
Okay, Rudy, you're on mute.
Okay, I got you. So I just want to say thank you to everyone. As usual, I'm Roderick Daly. I'm the chair of the board. Just want to say thank you to everyone. I love to come to a meeting and see it full, knowing that we're doing an impact in the community. So thank you so much. And I heard the tail end of the conversation about what's going on with transportation and how important that is and how we need that kind of effect on our community. So thank you again.
Thank you. Mr. Wood, can you quickly introduce yourself?
Sure. Hi, good evening, everyone. Sorry for my tardiness, but I'm here, and thank you for having me.
Thank you, Mr. Wood. Trisha, that's the name that I'm seeing.
Good evening. This is my first of this committee meeting. Hello, everyone.
Hi. Mr. Wood and Trisha, are you guys committee? Did you fill out the application to be committee members, or you're just joining us for the first time?
Joining for the first time.
Okay.
I filled out the application to join.
Okay, so you're okay. Thank you. All right.
And Mr. Wood and Trisha, you guys are just please let the community know that you're new board members as well.
Oh.
Yes, I'm a new board member as well. Yes. Excellent.
Okay. And Trisha, you're a board member also?
Yes, I'm a new board member.
Okay.
Joining me.
Okay, welcome. Welcome.
Thank you.
I know
Thank
we
you.
have a number of new board members on here. Okay, so let's move on unfinished business. We're supposed to have the CT forum June 28th, but there are a couple of events. One of them I just mentioned about the meet and greet with Congresswoman Yvette Clarke. I think that's a important space for you guys if you're interested in going to have those conversations. I do not know who are the other CBOs or NGOs or the faith-based organizations that are going to be there, but I know her office is also there. And if there are issues or things in the community that is happening, or even personal stuff around with your homes, or things we've got people trying to buy houses and harassment and different stuff that may be happening to you, please go and have those conversations with the Congresswoman's office and also the different organizations that are there to see what resources might be of interest to you. So we're going to have to put that the CTE forum. I've also had to put that the spelling bee because of space. One of the biggest issues that I have in having events is getting space. I need a location because I want to do, as soon as we come back, either October or November, to do or spelling bee. It may not fall into the fiscal year, but I would like to have it at least every year. The board's fiscal year, like the city, is July 1st to June 30th. And that is how we operate as a board, a committee. That is our fiscal year. But I don't mind having things outside of that fiscal year into the calendar year. So if you know of space, if you have connections within the community, and let me say it must be in the community. There was some space that was offered, but it was outside of the community and it was rather really far, in order to do it, but it was beautiful space. But if you have connections, with a space that can fit maybe 100 people or so. We try to use our schools, but schools sometimes can be very difficult given the fact that you need to have a permit to do things off time within the schools, and you have to pay for that unless there's some way that you can, adapt into somebody's program. And the CTE forum, we will also do that beginning in September. Once school is start, maybe at the end. Mr. Lewis, who just spoke, and you heard him spoke passionately about this, is the co-chair for that. If you're interested in CTE, you can, speak with him and help him to plan this event. But those are the two things that I must do before the end of the year that I want to do. Our upcoming event is Youth Happening, which is August 10th. It's usually in Pattergate Park. We have been working diligently, the office staff, Miss Lyons, getting everything together for this. So for those who don't know, Youth Happening is the event that was created by the prior chair, Miss Patricia Ruddock, and it is a fun day in the park for all the school-based organizations, which are the daycare schools, if you have an after-school program or what, to come together in the park. There's different activities that is happening, entertainment. NYPD is a sponsor of this event also. You'll see the cops are there, they're grilling for us. And during the pandemic, it was put on hold. Last year, we started it back for the first time since the pandemic. It was really great. I will say that I had a lot of collaborative partners, Elite Learners, NYPD, who else helped? The God Squad, East Flatbush Village. They all came out and helped put together a really great event. We had over 300, 400 kids in the park, but maybe 3 or 350 around there or what. But for just coming out of COVID and doing it again, the response was really great. Lunch usually comes from the DOE summer programs. So this year we have ordered from them, not the full entire menu, because a lot of the feedback I heard was kids don't really like the school lunch. But they did have a picnic option, which we chose. But saying that, we also are going to do our own grilling. The menu is basically hot dogs and hamburgers, juice, snacks. We have started to order some of the stuff, but we do need donations from the members, from the board members or committee members, and also from within the community. Everything that we need so far, we have put in the permit for the park. That has been done. The stage has been ordered. As I said, the DOE lunch was taken care of. So now this next poll is my community partners that partnered with me last year. I had a meeting with them back in May. They are willing to partner with us again, and they bring their own set of different activities and things to the table. But CB17, this committee provides the majority of the stuff. So that's why we need donations, or donations can be monetary, it can be juices, it can be chips, anything that you want to donate, a case of water, anything like that, we are willing to accept. I would also,
What park is it?
Prattigate, the
Oh,
one located on Albany.
same one. Okay.
Yes, it's at the same part. Albany, between Foster and Farragut, right across from the board office. Yes, Miss Duncan.
I have a question about the committee's role in this event. Like, do we have stations, or how do we really participate? Because I haven't heard anything about the planning for it, so I don't really know, besides the date of it that I
So,
just heard, what's going on.
right. So this is an event that the committee puts on. It was put on last year also. I will say I do apologize. I have just completed the materials to be sent out. You guys, I didn't want to send them out before I talked about it, but you guys will will get an email around the poster and everything that's happening. And this is why I'm talking now about it, because I was just going to ask for, if there's anyone who's interested in helping with the planning sessions for it. And a lot of the stuff that we need, the main stuff is done from the board office because they have the connections with the parks department or the commissioner. Since we use those permits and different items, the Miss Lyons has been on that, and she has put all of that in. Where we're at now is where we're going to start to plan what the activities may look like, suggestions. Usually it's a registration process, which will be happening. So members of the community, especially those within the schools or daycares, have to register because we need a count of how many young people we will have so that we can adequately provide food for them. The ask has been sent out to, I don't know how many of you know Detective Barry, but she has a group. They do the entertainment for us, but we're also asked if other organizations that are coming, if they are willing to, well, not willing, if they want to do any kind of performances, right? I see, Mr. Daly, is your hand up?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
So my hand was up for a long time. So there are a couple of things
I'm
that
sorry.
that's okay. First thing is you mentioned a few things, but I'm gonna go back to one thing and then come back to the youth happening, if you don't mind.
Go ahead.
All right. So the first thing is that the event with Yvette Clarke is an opportunity for all community members. It is put on in collaboration with the community board and Meyer Levin. So we are the primary sponsors of this event for the community to get out and the community to ask the Congresswoman any question that you might have. So if you didn't get the invitation or the links for questions and stuff, please do reach out to the board's office to get the survey, or reach out to me, which is cb17chairperson@gmail.com, right? So that's one, right? So I wanted to make sure that everybody knows that it is something that is sponsored by us out there. Secondly, back to youth happening. In the past, all of the committee members, right? If you're a committee member, it's not demanded, right? It's not demanded, but it is requested that all committee members, right, if you can, come out for the day and help Chair Grandison, in this case is Chair Grandison, to facilitate the event. There are a series of stations. Somebody asked a question. There's there's registration, there's the food, there is activity, there's so many different places where people can play a role in terms of getting things done. So all of the committee members, board members, we're asking for you guys to come out and support. That's two. And And that list will be given when we normally, like the Youth and Education Committee is the only committee on the board that normally meets in the summer because they make sure that things get done and everything is done properly. So Chair Grandison, I'm sure she'll send you all those notifications for when those meetings are to ensure that we have a smooth event. The last thing is that donations. We normally have a donation letter that a community assistant associate Lyons has that is given to the committee that we can take to different organizations. So if you have an organization that you know are within the community, to walk to the local businesses and ask for donations, $50, $100, whatever that donation is, or in-kind donation. Like for example, what's that place, Gail, the one on Melba Food Star? Those people.
Oh, Blue Star.
Yes. So they would like donate, do in-kind, hot dogs.
Right.
Like George State would go out and get ice. Had done that in the past with another organization. So whatever that is. So it is the responsibility of the Youth and Education Committee to make sure that's smooth. Reach out to daycares if they want to come to the event. It's all for young people. So I've said enough. But I just want to make sure that everybody on this committee knows that it's our responsibility to get things done. Everything is done from the hosting to the DJing to whatever is done from this committee. Everything.
Thank you, Mr. Daly. I just want to say also, because it is usually kept a day in the week, which is a work day. And I know I don't want, people to feel like, oh, I'm supposed to take a day off and to do this or what. But I do understand that people have jobs and you may not be able to, take that day or what. But if you can help in any other way, I would greatly appreciate it. Ms. Duncan, is your hand still up or?
Oh, my hand's back up.
It's back up. Okay, let me ask Mr. Lewis, did you have a comment or was your hand up from before? Okay, Ms. Duncan, go ahead, because I think his hand was probably up.
Yes. So back to this youth happiness. Gosh, as you can see, I'm driving. But back to this event. If this is a major event for the committee, right? Is it possible that we have a date for next year planning already? Because like I stated before, I work in the school. So summer's out, so am I. Like I plan my vacations around what's happening or what I'm doing over the summer. So like this year, I don't know my capacity for that date because I'm just hearing about it today. I could do things before that, but I would like to be more involved. And I would love to be there that day. So I'm going to try to move some things around. But for sure, we should be thinking about the date for next year so that we could know, what to not plan around.
So the date is usually
wanna
the
know how
first
possible that is.
Thursday. Okay, the date is usually the first Thursday in August. That's what it was set as before. I'm sorry. I've mentioned youth happening in a few other prior meetings. I'm not sure if you were there or not. And we also, last year was the first year that I took it over. So things are just going a little differently. But what I will say is that, as I said, there's a lot of partners, Elite Learners and East Flatbush Village that have also come and partner with us on it, where last year they were a lifesaver. Once it had to be done. But it's the first Thursday in August of every year. That's the time frame that it would be set. It just the date got changed this year because I had a week-long event at work which I could not get out of as much as I tried. I had to commit to being there because I may also have to travel, so we had to do it I had to change the date. But just remember that you will get more information from me around this. But I do say if there are, there's anyone who wants to work on this, I will be having meetings, especially with those, the other partners that are going to work with us again on this. They have all committed to doing it. I will say also that being that it's during the summer, last year we had a really great handful of SYEP from not only NYPD Explorers, but also from the God Squad. And if you guys know about the God Squad, you know that they come out with the young people in force, and they really wanted the kids to take part and to have different roles playing in the event, especially in the park. So bear in mind that we will have once again SYEP students who will be helping us. But as Mr. Daly said, I will send out the information of the next steps, because the most important things that we needed to get done have been done so far from the board level, and now it's up to the committee now to get all the activities and the fundraising and stuff going. So if you guys are really good at that, the ask is not a lot. Whatever can be donated or given, we greatly appreciate. So
I would like to help with the fundraising.
who's that, Miss Sanders?
Yes.
Okay. I will put you down for that, but I will send out a form, as I said, when I send you the information, and you can let me know what you will be able to do. I don't know how many people would be available that day, but I will take whatever amount I have and who's available, and we will work through this. Mr. Daly, I see your hand is up again.
Yeah, I was just wondering, I don't know if this is a question for Ms. Lyons, right? We normally had a list of contributors, right? And
Yes.
I know that with COVID, there was a lot of turnover, and unfortunately, a lot of people succumbed to COVID and all the other things. But do we have at least that list that can be broken down for people to make calls with? Do we still have that, or any updated version of that list? Because that's one of the things that we used to use, Ms. Saunders, to reach out to different people in the community, along with our own committee, family, and friends.
So, Mr. Daly, you're talking about the list of daycares or organizations, or the list of people to get
The list of
funding
people,
from?
well, we could do both, right? I wasn't really thinking about the organization. I was thinking more about contribution. 'Cause remember,
Okay.
we had that and we broke it down into different things. I don't know if we still have it. Is Miss Lyons on the call? I did see.
Yes, she is. We do still have it. I have a copy of it. So the organizations were notified about youth happening. They all got,
Not
the
those
list that we had.
Not that I'm talking about the donation list.
Right. I know you're talking about that. So it's you mentioned the organizations that you wasn't you to include that. So I just want to say for that part that email was sent out to the organizations letting them know that youth happening was happening, and the donors list that, I mean, a lot of it is it what's on there is businesses in the neighborhood, and I want to work through that with Miss Lyons first before we send it to anyone, just to make sure that we do cross off any business that has closed, and to just update it a bit. So if you can give me some time, then just to see how if people are willing then to make calls, or we do have a letter that you can send. So just let me clean that up with Miss Lyons, probably tomorrow or Friday, and then we can see how we can get that distributed.
A letter
Okay?
with letterhead. A letter with
Yes,
letterhead.
yes, yes. It's all on letterhead.
So
Any other questions?
I'm a bit confused. Did the
Mark?
event happen already, or it's gonna
No, the event is August 10th. Smart, Mr. Smart?
Thank you, thank you. I'm just trying to track the conversation. So I heard us talk about transportation. I also heard us talk about fundraising. I heard us talk about a community event. Just trying to make sure that I'm really getting a gist of the conversation because I think I'm kind of losing track.
Okay.
Okay.
So the transportation, I was just given an update of a couple of things that were happening that in terms of transportation in the community around the bike share and changes to bus routes, right? Which can impact schools, the kids in our community. That's what the transportation was about. It's a bigger picture than just for the Youth and Education Committee. It's an entire board issue with the transportation, but there's some impact on our schools as to where things, once DOT confirms and makes decision that may impact our young people. The event that we're talking about is an upcoming event in August called Youth Happening that the Youth and Education Committee puts on. And we were talking about fundraising for that event happening on August 10th. Does that clarify?
Yes, it does. Thank you so much.
Okay. Do we have any other questions? It's now 9:02 around Youth Happening because I wanted to end with that.
Excuse me.
I-
Is there somebody who's responsible for that could answer questions like the amount of attendees expected and what are they looking for as far as dollar amount and the amount of anything contributed? Who should we talk to about things like that?
You can speak to me around that. You can have a conversation with me around that. So in the past, this event used to have up to 500 young people. From what Miss Raddock said,
Don't underestimate 2,500. Don't be.
25.
Don't.
Well,
Yes, I will say that we used to have 3,000 to 4,000 people
Exactly.
in the
oh my
past.
God. Okay.
Mhm.
So you heard it from the experts. As I said, I took this over last year. It was a last minute thing that we did, and because of COVID, it didn't happen for what, 2 or 3 years. 2021, 19,
It
yeah,
didn't
for about
happen in
2
19
years.
either. So it's 19, 20, 21,
Oh, it didn't.
22, 4 years.
Okay, it didn't happen in 19. Okay, so last year, because it was, it came back. It was very low scale, right? So now we're prepared, and you hear Mr. Daly and Mr. Tate said, because they have been involved in this much longer than I did in the previous committees. So we're talking, if they're saying 2,000, 2,500, once we start to get those numbers in, when people register, and I think it's because Miss Raddock said she had opened it up to the entire Brooklyn, to anyone, as opposed to where it used to be just the community. Am I correct, Mr. Tate and Mr. Daly?
No, what happens is like, in my opinion, I think we used to have a lot of more daycares in the area, bigger daycares. But the thing
Okay.
is now with this pre-K for all and everything, some of the daycares are closed or it's smaller. So we'll aim with the COVID situation too, that really hampered a lot of what was happening. So I would say right before COVID, the last one we had, we didn't have 3,000. We probably had like about, 1,500 to 2,000. So the numbers
Okay.
have been lowering, but because of COVID, it's really put a damper on that. And the fact that quite a few of the large daycares closed down. Mm.
Yeah.
But we also invite the summer camps to have to do that.
Yes.
So like one of the things for everyone who's on the call and the committee, what we're trying to say to you is, I guess Gail can probably go, Chair Grandison can actually go over whatever numbers they had when we do another meeting because it's over time. But if you know a daycare or you know a camp, there is a registration form that our community, Miss Lyons has that you can give to that camp to fill out because it is a day trip for all of these camps. And some of these camps, what they used to do, Mr. Tate, was to add it to what they would offer to parents because they would offer day trips to parents, and this was one of the day trips that
That's
they offered.
correct.
Right, right. They brought out the tents, they brought out the this, they brought out the that for the kids to come out for the entire day. So sometimes they would arrive at 8:30 in the morning, although the thing didn't start until like 10, and they would stay till 3, 4 o'clock in the afternoon, a whole day event with activities,
Yes.
and they would do their performances. So we also invite the camps to do their performances. I'm just so excited about it that I keep talking and I need to shut up, but it's really really exciting. And I know Chair Grandis is like, please stop talking, but that's it. It's just really
May,
exciting for
may,
everybody.
may I add one more thing? Because someone asked a question regarding numbers.
Yes.
Yes, there's that form that Mr. Daly mentioned. It also had, we will send it to the daycare, and they would send the number. They would tell you how many children and how many staff members will you be sending. So that will give us, with their responses, plus we will give them a deadline to send this information in. So that would help us to know how many kids we could expect. Then we have to add, like an approximate number for walk-ins, and then some of the camps that don't respond, but they do show up. But yeah.
So I thank you, Mr. Tate and Mr. Daly. So you guys will receive everything, all the communications. You will get the registration form, you will get the poster. There's also the option, a link to register online. Everything will be provided to you. And as I said, I will also, it's going to be a package. In there, you can sign up for, there will be certain things that I have if you, if you can volunteer, if you're available that day. Please, I do not want anyone to think that, oh, we have to take the day off to do this and I don't know. It is at your discretion if you are able to take that day off and to be there, please. Okay. I am not putting pressure on anyone, and I just want to make that clear because I know it's a day in the week. But I will send to everyone an entire package and a sign up sheet where you can volunteer, even if you cannot make it that day and you want to do something else, or you want to donate, you want to contact the daycare. I will also send you the list of what we have with the daycares. And if you know there's one and you don't see the name on there, please feel free to reach out to them and share the information. Okay, but I will make sure that everyone gets an entire package so that they are properly informed. If you have any questions, you can reach out to me or you can reach out to Ms. Lyons at the board. We will answer to the best of our abilities. And I do appreciate each and every one of you for, whatever you can do and to contribute. Are there any other questions? Any comments?
I have a load of questions, but I could wait to talk to individually. It's just,
Yes.
okay.
Yes, Ms. Saunders, we can have a conversation tomorrow. If you like, you can give me a call.
As a member of the community, I would really like to know about, and maybe you can send it to me as an email on how to join the board. Just like, maybe there's a sign up or, an application that I have to fill out.
You can, Mr. Smart, you can reach out to me on that, and we can have a conversation about some of the things that they're looking for at that level. And again, my email is cb17chairperson, gmail.com. That also, Ms. Gail Granson, just remind everyone, if you're not a member of the committee and you would like to be, please make sure you reach out to Ms. Lyons and fill out the necessary documents to be part of the committee.
And I will also send that form in the package. So it is 9:11, ironically. I do not want to keep anyone any longer. One of the things that I had said that I wanted to talk about was the priorities for next year. But what I will do is I will send you guys a form where you can fill it out and you can, put in some ideas about what you think we should do and things that we should tackle next year as a committee. Every year I create a strategic plan as to how the committee wants to move within themselves. I am big on partnerships and collaboration. So I will ask your input as to what our strategic plan for the year would look like. And if you guys can please respond. And when we come back in September, that will be the first topic, major talk around how the committee will move, what the priorities will be for the year. So I want to thank you guys. It is now 9:12 p.m. I want to thank each and every one of you for being here tonight, for joining the committee. Who didn't join, maybe I can convince you. We're fun. We're a great group. I ask you to join us. I need more voices on this committee, especially to advocate for our schools. Without further notice, can I have a motion to adjourn the meeting at 9:13 p.m.? Nobody wants to go home? Nobody
Well,
wants to
I,
leave?
George State, make a motion to join the meeting at 9:13 p.m.
Can I get a second?
I agree.
I'm not sure who said that. You have to.
Oh, it's Lawrence. Second
Is
motion.
Ms. Lawrence is a committee member?
Oh no,
Yes.
sorry. Oh yes, I am. Sorry.
Okay.
Yes, she is. Yes.
Yes, I am.
She sounded very doubtful. That's why I just asked.
No,
No,
I
I
have
was
her down
thinking-
as a committee member.
Yes, I am a committee member. I was thinking of the board for a second because that's what y'all was just talking about. Sorry.
No. So, could you just say officially, Miss Lawrence?
Yes, officially I am a committee member, but I second the motion to end the meeting.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. I wish each and every one of you a good night. Enjoy your weekend, and you will be hearing from me. I hope I don't flood your mailbox too often, but my appreciation to
mine.
each and every one of you.
Surely not mine. Don't be flooding mine, all right?
Okay.
No, I will just call you. So everyone have a good night and thank you.
Thank
Good
you.
night. Blessings,
Have a good
everyone.
night.
Happy Juneteenth. Happy Juneteenth and Father's Day to everyone.
Thank you. Good night.
Same to you. Good night.
Thank you.
Good night, everyone.
Good night. Thank you, Miss Lyons. And
Welcome.
Miss Lyons, I am either gonna come over, if not tomorrow, on Friday.